butter, yogurt, crackers, snack bars, kids' puffs, wraps, cheese slices, all of it ends up in lunchboxes because it looks convenient. But in Australia, the official record also shows that some very lunchbox-friendly products were recalled in 2025 and 2026 for things like undeclared allergens and foreign matter. Today we're doing a simple, evidence-based countdown of 10 kids' lunchbox brands, 3 to avoid because of recent FSANZ recall alerts, and 7 to buy because they make the healthy basics easier and Australians consistently rate them well in recent consumer research. Starting at number 10. Number 10. Yummy snack foods, specifically Yummy Fruit and Nut Millionaires Mix, 500 grams, and Yummy Fruit and Nut Barbecue Mix, 400 grams. If these are in your quick grab rotation for lunchboxes, this is a good example of why we should never treat a snack mix as set and forget. FSANZ published a recall for these products on the 25th of November 2025 because the recall applied to packs that did not declare certain allergens. The recall notice names the allergens and spells out the risk clearly. If you have a child with a cashew, almond, macadamia, and/or milk allergy or intolerance, consuming an affected pack could cause a reaction. That is an immediate no for a lunchbox item, because lunchboxes often get swapped, shared, or eaten away from you, and an allergen mistake becomes a bigger problem fast. Practical takeaway here is simple. If you buy snack mixes, check the label every time. And if there's any doubt, check the FSANZ recall alert and best before details before it goes anywhere near a lunchbox. Number 9. Woolworths, specifically Grinny Pea Puffs chicken flavour, 18 grams times 6-pack. FSANZ published this recall on 28th March 2025, and the reason matters a lot for parents. The recall notice states the problem as the presence of foreign matter, glass, and warns that food containing glass may cause illness or injury if consumed. This is the clearest example of the lunchbox convenience trap. A product can look perfect for kids, portioned, light, easy, and still end up on a recall list for something you would never expect. Here's the lunchbox rule this supports. Anytime you're buying multi-packs that are meant to be eaten straight from the bag, you want to be extra strict about staying across recall alerts, because there's no cooking step that could reduce risk. If you ever see a recall like this, treat it as a reminder to keep a short, approved list at home and rotate slowly, not randomly. Number 8. Nestle, specifically Milo Snack Bar 8 × 21 grams. This is another case where the packaging screams lunchbox, but the official record says, be careful. FSANZ published a recall for this product on 14th of February 2026 due to potential presence of pieces of black rubber. In other words, foreign matter again. And with kids, foreign matter is not just gross, it's a safety issue. The smarter approach is to treat bars as a sometimes food, not the backbone of the lunchbox. And to keep your default snacks boring in a good way. Things like fruit, yogurt, and simple sandwiches. If your household still likes bars, the non-negotiable habit is checking recall alerts, especially for products you pack repeatedly. Now the better news. The next 7 are brands that are much easier to build a solid lunchbox around, because they're tied to the real food basics, and they've also performed strongly in recent Australian consumer satisfaction research. Number 7. Wonder, as your sandwich base, especially their wholemeal style sandwich breads. In CanStar Blue's wholemeal bread ratings, Wonder appears as a past award winner in the most recent cycle that includes 2025 results, which matters because these ratings are based on Australians reporting on what they actually bought and ate. A lunchbox does not need to be fancy. It needs to be repeatable. A reliable wholemeal bread is one of the highest leverage items you can buy, because it turns nothing in the fridge into a workable lunch in about 40 seconds. Pair it with a protein like cheese or tuna, add a fruit, and you're already close to the 5 food groups approach that Sydney Children's Hospital Network pushes in its lunchbox guidance. So the why here is not hype, it's structure. A decent wholemeal bread makes it easier for you to hit the basics consistently without relying on ultra-processed snack packs. Number 6, Helga's, again as a bread base, especially their multigrain style loaves. CanStar Blue's multigrain bread ratings include Helga's as a past award winner in the most recent set that includes the 2025 cycle. And that lines up with what most parents actually want from bread for lunchboxes. It needs to hold together. It needs to still taste okay when it's been sitting for hours. It needs to make a simple filling feel like a real lunch. Here's the practical way to use this brand without getting tricked by this. Healthy vibes. Keep it simple. Choose the plainer multigrain options, then let the fillings do the work. Egg, chicken, cheese, hummus, leftover roast, whatever your kid will reliably eat. And if you're trying to reduce the endless snack feeling, a more filling sandwich base helps. Sydney Children's Hospitals Network's lunchbox advice is very clear that the goal is a balanced box, not a box built around packaged treats. Bread that your kid will actually eat is the difference between that working and collapsing by Wednesday. Number 5, Simpson's Pantry for wraps and flatbreads. CanStar Blue's wraps and flatbreads ratings, with research finalised and published in August 2025, rated Simpson's Pantry as the top pick for overall satisfaction. This is a strong lunchbox brand because wraps are the reset button when sandwiches stop working. They also make it easier to pack vegetables in a way kids accept because you can shred carrot, add cucumber sticks, throw in chicken, and it feels like a different meal even if it's the same ingredients. And the healthy part is not the wrap claiming to be magical. It's the way wraps make the balanced lunchbox approach easier to execute. If you want one rule that actually helps, it's this. Use wraps to increase the chance you're packing a real lunch, not a collection of snack items. That aligns with the 2025 lunchbox guidance from Sydney Children's Hospitals Network that focuses on building from core foods rather than treating snacks as the main event. Quick pause. If this is useful and you're still with us, drop a comment with the number 5 so we know you made it to the middle. And if this is your first time here, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. It helps us keep making well-researched, fact-checked consumer guides. Alright, back to it. Number 4, Westacre, Aldi, specifically their sliced cheese range. CanStar Blue's sliced cheese ratings, with research finalised and published in April 2025, rated Westacre as the top pick, including 5-star scores for value for money, texture, and overall satisfaction. For lunchboxes, sliced cheese is a workhorse item. It's a quick protein and calcium option, it's easy to portion, and it plays nicely with wholemeal bread, wraps, and crackers. Also, this is where you can quietly save money without sacrificing the lunchbox structure. If cheese is one of the staples your kid reliably eats, buying the brand that Australians consistently rate as strong value is a sensible move. The key is how you use it. Pair it with a real base, bread or crackers, and add fruit or veg, rather than treating cheese slices as just another snack to eat by themselves. Number 3, Mersey Valley for block cheese. In CanStar Blue's block cheese ratings, research finalised and published in April 2025, Mersey Valley was rated the top pick, with 5-star reviews for things like taste, texture, variety, and overall satisfaction. Here's why block cheese deserves a spot in a healthy lunchbox list, even though it sounds basic. It gives you control. You can cut thicker slices for a hungrier kid, thinner slices for younger kids, and it usually works out cheaper per serve than constant pre-portioned packs. It's also incredibly flexible. Block cheese goes into sandwiches, wraps, snack boxes with crackers, or alongside fruit. And again, this fits the balanced lunchbox approach in current Sydney Children's Hospital's network guidance, updated 2025. You are building around core foods that actually fill your child up, so they're not chasing snacks at 2 p.m. Number 2, Gippsland Dairy, for yogurt as a lunchbox staple. In CanStar Blue's yogurt ratings, research finalised and published in June 2025, Gippsland Dairy was rated the top pick for overall satisfaction. For lunchboxes, yogurt is one of the easiest, nutrient-dense, low-drama foods you can pack, especially if you keep it cold. The move that makes yogurt genuinely useful for lunchboxes is choosing simpler styles and then adding your own fruit. It turns yogurt from a sweet treat into a proper food group item. If your child only accepts flavoured yogurts right now, you can still use this brand as the base and gradually shift the sweetness down over time. The bigger point is reliability. When a brand consistently performs well in broad Australian consumer research, it's more likely to be the kind of product your kid will actually eat. And that reduces lunchbox waste, which is part of healthy in the real world. Number 1, Demora, Aldi, for crackers. CanStar Blue's cracker ratings, with research finalised in December 2025 and published in January 2026, rated Demora as the top pick, with 5-star reviews for value for money and overall satisfaction. Crackers are often where lunchboxes go off the rails, because you can accidentally buy crackers that are basically salty snack, and then you end up building the whole lunchbox around it. The way to use crackers well is to treat them as a base, not the hero. Crackers plus cheese, add cucumber or cherry tomatoes, add a piece of fruit, and you've got a mini meal. That's the pattern Sydney Children's Hospital's network is getting at in its 2025 lunchbox guidance. Build from core foods, then add extras if needed. And if crackers are in your weekly rotation, the brand that wins on value and satisfaction can help you keep the cost down without relying on ultra-processed lunchbox packs that constantly end up on limit these lists. Now, before we wrap, here's the checklist that makes this whole video useful on a Monday morning when you're tired. First, build the box around the basics, not the marketing. Sydney Children's Hospital's Network's Lunchbox advice, updated 25th July 2025, frames it around the 5 food groups and keeping the lunchbox balanced across the week. That means you're aiming for a main item like a part, sandwich or wrap, a fruit, a veg, plus something like yogurt or cheese, and water as the default drink. The NSW Munch and Move Lunchbox resources from June 2025 also push the same idea. Pack core foods first, then add small extras if you want. Second, use a default list and rotate slowly. The 3 brands to avoid today were not chosen because they're evil. They were chosen because FSANZ recall notices in 2025 and 2026 documented concrete safety risks in specific products. So keep a short list of staples you trust, then trial one new item at a time. It reduces waste, it reduces arguments, and it reduces the chance you miss a recall notice on something you buy once and forget about. Third, make cold food actually stay cold. Yogurt and cheese are great lunchbox items, but only if you pack them properly. The Sydney Children's Hospital's network guidance includes practical lunchbox safety basics, and the easiest version is insulated lunch bag plus a frozen water bottle or ice brick. and keep the lunchbox out of direct sun. That's not about being paranoid. It's about keeping food appealing so it actually gets eaten. Fourth, if your child has allergies, treat labels as non-negotiable. The Yummy Snack Foods recall in November 2025 is the exact reason why. The issue was undeclared allergens on affected packs. For allergy households, checking the label and staying aware of recall notices is part of keeping your kids safe, not an optional extra. And finally, here are 3 no-thinking lunchbox builds using today's buy list. 1. Wonder or Helga's sandwich with Westacre slices or Mersey Valley cheese, plus fruit, plus cucumber sticks. 2. Simpson's pantry wrap with leftover chicken and cheese, plus yogurt, plus a piece of fruit. 3. Demora crackers with cheese and cut veg, plus yogurt, plus fruit. So there you have it. 3 lunchbox brands to avoid as default picks, based on documented FSANZ recall notices in 2025 and 2026, and 7 brands to buy because they support the basics and perform strongly in recent Australian consumer satisfaction research. If you've had a recall hit something you buy regularly, or you found a genuinely good lunchbox staple we should investigate next, drop it in the comments. If this helped, hit like. It tells YouTube to share this with more parents who are trying to make lunchboxes easier. Subscribe for more evidence-based consumer guides, and we'll see you in the next one.